I think it's just one of those things where you have to be realistic that it's very difficult to make a name for yourself in VTubing when you're just starting out, because, you know, it's very saturated. There's so many names, there's so many streamers, there's so many companies, even with, you know, companies more and more closing. It's very difficult to make a name for yourself, and it's very difficult for, you know, those companies to be able to profit, and unfortunately, you know, people's hopes and dreams are being, I wouldn't say taken advantage of, but, you know, somewhat exploited when it comes to some of these companies who are promising them the world, and then it turns out, oh, you didn't get the HoloLive numbers when you debuted. Now what? What was your business plan? You wanted someone to get 100k CCV for their debut stream? That didn't happen. Yeah, it's one of those weird situations where it feels like these companies are almost doomed to fail, sadly. But, you know, I want people to succeed. I think that it's better if there's more people involved. I don't necessarily agree. Like, whilst there's, you know, there might be some idea that, oh yes, less competition means more eyes on me. No, I think it's actually just reflective of the whole industry as a whole. That, you know, competition is good and helps push people to try harder and do better. And who cares about viewer numbers? A lot of people, actually. You should see how many VTubers quit after a month because no one watched them. It's a lot. It's a lot of people. A lot of people do that. A lot of companies do that, unfortunately. There's a lot of people who stop very early on because they don't get the big success that they want early on. So they just quit. Which is fair. You know, you gave it a try, it didn't work out, and then you stop. I mean, like, ideally, if you're getting into VTubing, you're gonna do it for fun. Like, if you don't even have any experience with streaming, I would suggest, if you want some unsolicited advice, I would suggest maybe finding out that you want to do it for, like, you find it fun, first of all, before you ever try and think of it as, like, a potential business or job. That's a pretty big thing. And there's plenty of free resources or very cheap resources where you can get very nice models for free. Like, there's the people who make those pre-made customizable models now that range from, I think, anywhere from $50 to $200 and the quality is incredible. So if you want to try out VTubing, those are fantastic for fairly affordable prices. And you get a very high quality model that's already rigged. So I would suggest, you know, trying for fun first to see if you actually like it, because there's really, like, unless you have some sort of backing or some sort of thing that happens that gets a lot of attention on you, it's very unlikely that anyone's going to find your streams and watch, because there's thousands of people streaming on Twitch right now, and the average viewership is 1 or 0. I think the average views on Twitch is like 1 CCV, like 1 person watching, even with the big channels getting maybe over 100,000 viewers. It's very difficult to succeed and get noticed. So a lot of people, you know, they want to do this as a job because they think it's amazing, and they throw money at the situation to get, like, a cool model or whatever. And then it doesn't happen, and then they get disheartened, and then they quit. That does happen quite a lot. So I would suggest, if you are getting into VTubing, before you try and make it a career, I would suggest having fun with it as something that you do in your free time, rather than quitting your job to try and do it. Because, yeah, there's literally 0 likelihood that you will ever have people watch you. It is incredibly luck-based that you will have, like, people come find your stream and want to tune in and grow an audience. So I'd suggest not spending any money, or spending very little, and just trying to do it for fun, because at the end of the day, you want to like what you're doing. So even with a company, I mean, companies also try and do stuff like that, where they try and mimic the success of places like HoloLive, places like phaseconnect, right? Like, people did try and get into the corpo scene. They start. Unfortunately, they only manage to gather maybe a small audience, or maybe no audience at all, and then unfortunately that's it. And it's not the you can't just throw money at the problem anymore, because advertisements don't work like they used to. Like, you used to be able to maybe run ads for things on YouTube and get a lot of attention on your debut from that, but I think YouTube Premium is quite ubiquitous now. Ad blockers are quite ubiquitous, so unfortunately the amount of people actually seeing your ads nowadays is probably not going to have much of an impact on how many people put eyes on your debuts and stuff. You can pay other streamers to watch along your debuts, I suppose, but at least from personal experience of seeing other people do that, it doesn't really seem to have much tangible benefit. And it's also one of those situations like where if you're asking other corporate VTubers to do that, like you're asking your competition to do watch-alongs of your stuff, it's a very strange as well. I only did one watch-along as an indie, and that was for phaseconnect, and that was only because I'd already signed with phaseconnect. I only got that one because I was like, hey Sakana, I see you're doing Gen 3's debut, can I do a watch along? And he was like, sure, what's your rates? And I was like, and I did lowball him. I lowballed him, but also because the debuts are kind of like, it's just React content essentially. So I was like, well, probably not going to be that high a price. So I gave him a decent price, considering I think I had 300 viewers at the time, which is decent. That far back? Yeah, the verbal agreement for me joining Phase was November 2023, and then I think Euphoria debuted basically around the same time.